Are you tired of pouring your heart and money into home building only to see little profit in return? What if I told you that there's a proven way to turn your financial strain into sustainable growth? Stick around because I'm going to reveal the KPIs that could transform your business and help you achieve the freedom you deserve. By the end of this deep dive, you're going to have the complete KPI tracking system that I've used for over 2 decades in my business. You'll know exactly what metrics to track, how to set them up, and most importantly, how to use them to make data-driven decisions that will transform your cash flow, reduce your stress, and give you back control of your business and your life. Look, I've been exactly where you are. I started as a second-generation carpenter, worked my way up to managing over 250 guys, and eventually built my own successful home building operation here in Raleigh, North Carolina. I've coached dozens of builders who felt trapped by financial pressures and burnout. And the ones who implement the KPI system consistently see dramatic improvements in both their profits and their peace of mind. One of my students who's been in my home building blueprint program since the beginning told me this was a priceless investment because it gave him the confidence to move forward without the fear of making costly mistakes. That's what proper KPIs do. They remove the guesswork and give you clarity. Before we dive in, I've created a free KPI tracking guide specifically for home builders like you. This guide will help you identify the metrics that can lead you to significant growth, and it shows you exactly how to implement what I'm about to teach you. Click the link in the description to grab it now. Let me start off by telling you why this topic is so personable to me. Back in early 2000s, I was exactly where many of you are right now. I had left my father's company where I was managing hundreds of workers, and I started doing renovation jobs on my own. I thought I knew everything about construction, and I did know the building part, but running a profitable business, that was a completely different animal. I was working 14-plus-hour days, my personal money was tied up in every project, and despite being busy as hell, I was barely making ends meet. Sound familiar? I was making every decision based on gut feeling, hoping things would work out, and constantly stressed out about cash flow. The turning point came when I realized I was flying blind. I had no real visibility into what was actually driving my profits or losses. That's when I got serious about tracking the numbers, not just revenue, but the metrics that actually predict success. Here's the first thing you need to understand about KPIs in home building. Most builders are tracking the wrong metrics entirely. Or worse, they're not tracking anything systematically at all. I see guys who could tell you exactly how much lumber costs are per square foot, but they have no idea what their true cost per project is when you factor in all the hidden expenses. They know when their next closing is, but they don't know their average project timeline or why some builds take twice as long as others. Step 1, establish your baseline. Before you can improve anything, you need to know exactly where you stand right now. This isn't about judgment. It's about getting clarity. Most builders skip this step because they're afraid what they'll find. But I'm telling you, this is where your transformation begins. You need to audit your last 12 months and establish baselines for 3 critical areas: financial performance, not just revenue, but true profitability, operational efficiency, client satisfaction, and repeat business. Don't worry if the numbers aren't pretty. I've seen builders discover that they were actually losing money on a project they thought they were profitable. Better to know now than find out when it's too late. After working with hundreds of builders over the years, I've identified 3 core KPIs that predict success more than anything else. They aren't the only metrics you should track, but you'll be ahead of 90% of builders out there. KPI number 1, true project profitability. This isn't just revenue minus obvious costs. I'm talking about tracking every single expense related to each project, including all direct materials and labor costs, permit fees and inspections, carrying costs, which is your money tied up over time, your actual time investment, overhead allocation for each project. Most builders think they're making 20% profit when they're actually making 7% or less. I had one student discover he was losing money on every project once he factored in carrying costs and his time properly. If you're learning something valuable here, smash that subscribe button and the ring notification bell so you don't miss future content like this. Here's how to calculate it. Take your total project revenue, subtract all costs, including carrying costs, and fair wage your own time. Divide that by your total revenue. That's your true profit margin. KPI number 2, project timeline adherence. This one will shock you with how much it affects your bottom line. Every day your project runs over schedule, it's going to cost you money in carrying costs, opportunity costs, and stress. Track your planned timeline versus actual timeline for every project. But here's the key. Break it down by phase. Permits, foundation, framing, mechanicals, finishes, and even final inspection. You'll see patterns. Maybe your electrician is constantly late, or maybe you're underestimating permit times in certain jurisdictions. These insights are gold. I track this as a percentage. Actual timeline divided by planned timeline times 100. Everything over 110% needs immediate attention. KPI number 3, cash flow velocity. This is the metric that will either make or break your business. It's not enough to be profitable on paper if your cash is tied up for months at a time. Cash flow equals total project revenue divided by days from start to final payment. The higher this number, the better. It tells you how quickly you're turning your investment into actual cash in your account. When I started tracking this, I realized some projects that looked less profitable on paper were actually better investments because the cash came back faster, allowing me to reinvest sooner. Now, knowing these KPIs is one thing, but actually implementing a system to track them consistently is where most builders fail. Let me give you the exact framework I use. Every Wednesday, and I mean every Wednesday, I spend 30 minutes reviewing these numbers. Not Monday when I'm planning a week, not Friday when I'm wrapping it up, Wednesday when I can still make adjustments for that current week. I look at where each active project stands against timeline, updated profitability projections based on actual costs so far, cash flow projections for the next 30, 60, and 90 days. Once a month, I do a deeper analysis. I compare actual versus projected performance for completed projects, identify trends and patterns across all projects. I adjust baseline assumptions for future projects. This is where the real insights come from. You start seeing that certain types of projects consistently run over, or that specific contractors are affecting your profitability. You don't need fancy software for this. I use a simple spreadsheet that I update weekly. The key is consistency, not complexity. Your dashboard should show you current projects and their status against each KPI, trending data for the last 6 months, alerts for any projects that are outside acceptable ranges. And if you're not subscribed yet, now would be a great time to hit that subscribe button because I share strategies like this every single week. Once you've mastered the big 3, there are some advanced metrics that can really accelerate your growth. I track each subcontractor performance across 3 metrics: timeliness, quality, things like callbacks and rework, and cost adherence. This single metric has saved me tens of thousands of dollars in helping me identify which subs are actually costing me money in hidden ways. I track how long lots stay on the market in different neighborhoods, what comparable homes are selling for, and absorption rates. This helps me make better decisions about which lots to buy and what to build. Here's what happened when I consistently applied the system. My average project timeline decreased by 23%. My true profitability increased by 31%, and my cash flow velocity improved by 40%. But the real benefit was the stress reduction and confidence that came from knowing exactly where I stood at all times. Let me save you some time by sharing the biggest mistake I see builders make with KPIs. Mistake number 1, tracking too many metrics. Start with the big 3. Once those become a habit, then you can add more. Trying to track everything from day 1 leads to overwhelm and inconsistency. Mistake number 2, not acting on data. Tracking metrics is worthless if you don't use them to make good decisions. When a KPI is off, you need to investigate and adjust. Mistake number 3, perfectionism paralysis. Your first month of data won't be perfect, but that's okay. The goal is to start building a habit and improving your data quality over time. Mistake number 4, ignoring leading indicators. Don't just track what happened, track what's about to happen. Timeline adherence is a leading indicator of profitability problems. Listen, if you've made it this far, you're already ahead of most builders who are still flying blind in their business. But knowledge without action is just entertainment. Here's what I want you to do right now. Download that KPI tracking guide if you haven't already, and commit to tracking just 3 core metrics for the next 30 days. The guide will walk you through exactly how to set this up step by step so that you're not trying to figure it out on your own. I guarantee within 30 days, you'll have insights about your business that will surprise you. And within 90 days, if you're taking action on what the data tells you, you'll see measurable improvements in your profitability and peace of mind. Now, if you're ready to take this even further and you want the complete system for building home building business, I put together something special. The home building blueprint isn't just about KPIs. It's a complete roadmap that helps you from overwhelmed and financially strained to run an efficient, profitable operation. But even if you're not ready for that yet, implement what I've shared today. Start tracking these 3 numbers. Your future self will thank you. And hey, once you start seeing results from these KPI system, I'd love to hear about it. Drop a comment below and let me know which metric surprised you the most and when you started tracking it. Before you go, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell, because next week I'm breaking down how I ensure profit on every construction project. The proven strategy I use to turn razor-thin margins into guaranteed profits on every single build. If you think KPIs are profitable, wait until you see how I systematically lock in profitability before I ever even break ground. Remember, success in this business isn't about working harder, it's about working smarter. And it all starts with knowing your numbers. I'll see you in the next video.